I've said this before, and I think there are some in this course right now. I could be sitting here reading a phone book, and it wouldn't make any difference to you, because you've heard it all. You've heard all the fancy words. And there's another message you're interested in. That's between the lines. And it's the message that no matter how hard we try, folks like Peter and I, we will never, ever adequately get through this thing. And we'll never relay. So what we do instead, in a equally as faulted and equally as foiable and imperfect way, we try to give you the in-between the lines, this silence, this energy, this resonance, this shared eye contact. And so here's the tricky part, though. All of these things, how can we do this without being neurotic about it? Without setting you on fire with some sort of mission to do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.1, categorized and sketched out and done every day at 6 a.m. to 6:45, and then on to your absolutely perfectly nutritious breakfast, and then on to work, and then get up and repeat and do the same thing next day, and then if you do this for 60 days, you will awaken. How can we do that? How can we avoid that? It's easy. You'll fail at that. You always have, you always will. There's no perfecting this body, there's no perfecting the mind. You will fail. And then another good thing too is that once you've kind of heard enough of this type of teaching, it sinks in pretty quickly. You realize, oh, I can't get it the other way. So even if you tried, you'd realize that you're going to fail at it, which is good news. So at least we've arrived to a point where someone like me and the way that I teach can be more comfortable about it. In other words, when I'm staring at you through the camera, and when we're doing shared eye contact, and when we're doing breathing exercises and body scans, to some degree, I can point to a little bit of logic that backs it up. Notice I said a little bit. I'll take that. I'm good with that, because there really does, and I see the need for it, and I see the absolute requirement of it. There needs to be room for mystery too. But a guy like me needs, I always have, I always wanted a little bit of, man, just, I know, my head wants to understand it. I'm not going to genuflect in front of you, my friend. I'm not going to bow and tithe and do all the rest of this ritual stuff. I want to understand it just a little bit. I didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, thank God. My seeking was too desperate for that. My pain was too much for that. But I'm saying this because it's cool we've arrived to this point where I can speak to more people can understand it. You aren't freaked out by shared eye contact because you know what it means. It's good. And I can point to all the subtleties of this work and at least have some backup, some understanding of it. So I want to just mention another little thing today, but before I do so, Peter, you can hear me, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just checking. It's beautifully quiet on my end, so I think a lot of people have muted their microphones. I'm just like, I want to make sure I'm not speaking to dead air. Then my microphone was turned off or something. Yeah, thanks.
Let's see if I can move into your frame. No. I just had this
That would be some serious.
head.
What would be hilarious?
Had a
Well,
cartoon
that
movie
would be so
right, and I
funny.
go,
As like the last webinar, I invite you over here. We sit at two different computers, and then
oh, make
slowly
a face.
scoot over.
That would blow our minds. Okay.
Peter has now levitated and transfigured himself into my room. We are using our supreme awakening powers.
But you guys talk about being the Buddha. Gosh, the Buddha was pretty awesome. He was pretty, he was kind of
You don't know
perfect,
that.
wasn't he?
The Buddha was thousands of years ago. He's a dead guy. He's a dead guy. You don't know anything about the Buddha any more than I know about the Buddha.
Well, then why are you telling us to be the Buddha? Who is the Buddha?
You're the Buddha.
You are the now. Yeah. I mean, actually, in Thich Nhat Hanh's tradition, there is a thing where you bow to the Buddha in a way that you understand that you and the Buddha are not separate, and that means communication is complete. If you think the Buddha is someone in a statue or had a past life, and you are sitting there, studying him, then you don't understand what the Buddha is. The same with Christ. You don't understand that unless you understand that there's no separation between you. The Buddha went through his own struggles. I mean, that was the beauty of the story, is the struggles he went through, and then he awakened, and then he had beautiful teachings. But there always is the part about all the struggles that he went through before. Yeah. You were the Buddha. That's what the Buddha
I didn't
is.
mean to snap at you, Sheila. I just
This is my little Buddha here.
Oh, cool.
yeah, I mean,
Buddha, but it's a symbol for what we are. To be the Buddha is to understand really what the Buddha is. In Zen, there's one of the stories is, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill the Buddha, and because you have to kill your ideas of the Buddha, otherwise you can't really see the Buddha. Once you have any idea about the Buddha, Christ, God, whatever, you can't really understand what it is. You're boxing it into an idea and a concept. And it is more than that, as are you. That's our problem. We have the idea of who we are as a person, and we can even make a long list of descriptions of who we are as a person. But if we really look, none of it is true. We're unlimited. Yeah. And when we limit the Buddha into an idea of the Buddha was pretty cool, look what he did, we're limiting the Buddha. The Buddha was much, much more than that, much more than the mind could ever understand. And we are also that. So we can be the Buddha. In any moment, we can settle in and I'm the Buddha.